Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. Today I am making a very exciting dish. It's stuffed beet leaves sarma or dolma, which is a traditional food in Turkish, Greek, Armenian cuisines made of vegetable leaves rolled around a filling of minced meat and grains. It is popular in so many different countries. The one I'm making today is very similar but not quite the same as mangold or Swiss chard sarma. So I went to my local small grocery store that sells a lot of produce, and I saw beets and they had the leaves attached to it. In most grocery stores you go to, they just remove the leaves and discard them, but I was so excited to find those because look how beautiful they are. They're fresh and tender, so I am gonna stuff them. And of course, the most important component in sarma is filling, and I'm gonna show you how I make mine. Instead of rice, in my sarma I use bulgur. Bulgur is practically cereal that's made out of wheat groats that have been parboiled, dried, and ground. And there are so many different levels of grind, which is number 1 fine, medium, coarse, and extra coarse. Bulgur has a nutty flavor and can be served as a side dish similar to rice or couscous. Number 1 fine bulgur would be used wherever you would use breadcrumbs. It's pretty much in kofta and meatballs, and you could use it for coating the fish. I've skipped number 2. Number 3 is a coarse one. It's mostly used for tabbouleh salad, and I'm thinking of using it in my dish. And of course, at number 4 is extra coarse one. It has whole granulars there, so it mostly used in pilavs and stews. And of course, if you don't want to use bulgur, by all means you could use traditional rice, but use either medium or short grain because the long grain rice would just simply fall apart. I am debating in using either extra coarse or coarse bulgur, but I'm thinking the extra coarse might puncture the tender leaves of beets, so I'm gonna go with the coarse one. Here's the important ratio you have to follow in making stuffing. Is 2:1. I have 450 grams of ground beef to 225 grams of bulgur. Let's talk about onion selection for the stuffing, which is maybe too much into depth, but I want to talk about it anyway. So the yellow onion is best all around cooking onion. The white onion is the punchiest and the sharpest of all. The red onion is the best for eating raw or pickling. And the sweet onion is best for frying. So those two are out. And then you can decide to use either yellow onion or white onion. And by the way, when you buy yellow onion, just try to get the ones that are egg-shaped. I don't know, just easier to cut them, I guess. In the stuffing, we will need 1 large raw tomato and 1 or 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. And some dry spices. Let's talk about these, and those are my favorite ones to use in a stuffing. So dried mint, you can use the fresh mint, but I grew mint last year, so I dried it, so I'm gonna use mine. I also last year grew lemon thyme. I'm a big fan of this spice. It just has such an amazing flavor, so I'm gonna use the lemon thyme. And I'm going to use the orfa pepper, which has a really nice smoky flavor to it. And as far as the fresh herbs, it's up to you. I always choose a dill and parsley. You could substitute for whatever you like. I also going to use 1 Anaheim pepper. This is the closest thing I was able to find to Turkish peppers. I will show you how to prepare the leaves. Of course, you have to examine them and discard the ones that cannot be used for stuffing, like the yellow ones or super small ones, but leave those because we're gonna line the bottom of the pot with them. Now we're gonna wash them in cold water, and I would use a splash of vinegar because vinegar kills up to 98% of bacteria on the surface of your produce. So leave them soaking for maybe 5 minutes, and after that rinse them, and we're gonna examine them again and see which ones we're gonna stuff and which ones we're gonna leave for lining the pot. Of course, you have to remove the stems from your leaves, and then just be very selective because that all is gonna depend how your dish is gonna look at the end. Of course, you could leave them as is and stuff them, but I like to shock mine with boiling water that makes them a little bit softer and more pliable and easier to be rolled. So we're just gonna leave them soaking in boiling water for 3 minutes, and after that we're gonna rinse them with cold water, and our leaves are ready. We just need to dry them, and we're ready to stuff them. And let's make the stuffing first. Making sarma traditional way is a very time-consuming process, and there's a lot of respect of how the ingredients are treated. For example, mincing the onion. The onion have to be minced extremely fine. You can certainly run the onion through the food processor, but that's not the case in making sarma. Trust me, I've tried it. It creates a lot of juice and it colors your meat like weird way. So take your time and chop your onion very fine. This is going to be a really true fine mince. And it's gonna look like this. Look how beautiful this is. So when the sarma is made, all these little pieces are gonna be visible in your sarma, and it's gonna look so beautiful. And of course, it makes such a big difference. And the same way we're gonna treat the pepper. Now this is Anaheim pepper. It has a little bit of spice to it, but not much. It's certainly not as spicy as jalapeno or serrano pepper. But in Turkey, for example, they use these long peppers that are sweet peppers. They're similar in taste to a bell pepper that we have. So if you don't want any spice in your filling, then use the bell peppers instead. But just a small amount of spice in this filling is gonna make such a big difference in taste. So it's up to you. You decide. You be your own chef. Also, the fresh herbs have to be chopped really fine. And I have a small bunch of dill and a small bunch of flat leaf parsley. You can include the fresh mint and also chop it fine as well, but I am gonna use the dry mint in my sarma filling, so I just skip the fresh one for now. Watch what I'm gonna do with a fresh tomato. It's a small disclaimer. If you're not very experienced in this, don't do it. But we're gonna grate the tomato, and so using that sharp part of the cheese grater, and watch what's gonna happen. And I've done this before, and of course if you don't want your fingers to be grated, wear gloves, but I'm experienced in that. And then I grated my tomato, and look, and the skin comes off, and all you have is a tomato juice. In a large mixing bowl, I have 450 grams, which is 1 pound of lean ground beef, to which I am gonna add our minced onion, also minced pepper. Then I'm gonna add our minced fresh herbs, then our tomato puree. Then we're gonna add dry spices, dried mint, dried thyme, and then urfa pepper, and it's all up to you. It's all up to your taste. Then I'm gonna add 2 teaspoons of kosher salt, and also some freshly ground black pepper, also to your preference, to your taste. Then we're gonna add 1 tablespoon of or 2 tablespoons of tomato paste and our bulgur. And please notice that I do not wash bulgur. Do not wash your bulgur. We need this filling to be sticky so we could form it. And then of course put your gloves on and we're gonna mix it. At this point we're not gonna add any water to our filling because we have the tomato puree in there. Hopefully it's gonna be enough moisture in this filling for our bulgur to plump up a little bit. And as you can see right now, it's really pliable, but then we need the bulgur to absorb a little bit of moisture in the filling. So we're just gonna marinate this filling for 30 minutes, and after that we will check to see if we will need to add water to it. And to me it looks fine because I tested, I could form it. I don't want it to be too wet. And we're ready to stuff our leaves. So they're dried and they've been shocked with boiling water, so they are pliable. We're gonna take a small amount of filling. We're just gonna form a little log, put it at the end of the leaf, leaving a little bit on the side so we could tuck those ends. And this is how you roll the sarma, and it's as easy as that. I know they have all this new equipment now to roll sarma because people roll them in hundreds. I'm not gonna make that many, but I am a good roller. I've done this so many times and I want you to learn. And look how beautiful these leaves are. They are very tender, and they're not like a grape leaves. You're gonna feel the difference in taste. So we're just gonna roll another one and another one until we used up all our leaves. For cooking sarma, you need to use the heavy pot with the double bottom preferably, and so your rolled sarma doesn't stick to the bottom of your pot. Remember those discarded leaves we couldn't use, so we're gonna use them to line the bottom of our pot, as you see, like that. So I have all my beet leaves stuffed sarma, and I have a lot of filling left, and so I'm gonna roll some grape leaves as well. And because they're not as tender as the beet leaves, I'm gonna place them on as a first row on the bottom of the pot, and then continue building my rows. And this is how you add the sarma to the pot. It's in a circle. It is pretty tight there. So you have to stack them one on top of the other, and you can just continue building rows of your stuff. And of course the ends, those tucked ends that you have from rolling your sarma, they have to go on the bottom, and that's what it looks like. Some liquid is usually added to cook sarma so it doesn't burn. And it could be water, it could be some kind of stock. I'm just gonna use hot water and 1 tablespoon of tomato paste. I'm gonna mix it together and then just cover my sarma with it. And the liquid has to come up a little bit higher than the level of your sarma. Then we're gonna place some weight. I have this one, which is very traditional, but you could use the plate. And we're gonna cook it on medium-low for about 30-35 minutes until most of the water evaporated. And as you can see, it's completely done. As far as plating your sarma, this process is not complicated at all. You just place it on your plate and include pieces of lemon to squeeze over your sarma or dolma. And usually a simple yogurt sauce is made, which is plain yogurt, salt and pepper. You can add a minced garlic to it. And then you just dip your sarma in it, and it's just a very interesting way of serving it. And here it is. Here is your little parcel of stuffed beet leaves with bulgur stuffing and meat. And look how beautiful it looks inside. Everything is in place. And then you can enjoy it by dipping it into this yogurt sauce or as is. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't. And also follow me on Instagram, where I post a lot of short videos. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.